Welcome to Sports, everybody. I'm Chris Saunders. Members of the sporting community today bid a final farewell to athletic icon and the godfather of Bahamian athletics, Thomas A. Robinson. Scores of the country's greatest athletes, including the Golden Girls and Golden Knights as well, along with the head of the B3As, Mike Sands, attended the state-recognized funeral today. Now, Prime Minister Perry Christie shared the story of Golden Girl Debbie Ferguson, who recently talked about the impact Mr. Robinson had on her career. In fact, it was Mr. Robinson who helped make it possible for that Golden Girl to just go off to university.
Can you imagine Debbie being deprived of the opportunity to grow her talents in the way that she was able to do? Can you imagine Debbie not bringing home the baton when the Golden Girls won in Barcelona? Well, it almost didn't happen. And it wouldn't have happened if Tommy hadn't come to the rescue. But come to the rescue he did. As Debbie tearfully reminded us all on TV, Tommy made it possible for Debbie to meet the financial requirements for a U.S. visa. And as a result, Debbie was able to go to college in the United States and get the best training and the best education and exposure available anywhere in the world. And the rest, they say, is history.
Former athlete himself says Tommy Robinson was the role model, the chief icon and the godfather of Bahamian athletics. He was the statesman of Bahamian athletics, not only for the younger generation of athletes, but also the older generation, including Dr. Bernard Nottage and Leslie Miller.
And in looking back on Tommy's career as a track star, what I continue to find so supremely amazing is not so much what he did as when he did it. Like they describe the mission in Star Trek, to go where no one has ever gone before. To go where no one has ever gone before. That was Tommy. No one from the Bahamas had ever been able to achieve on the world stage what he managed to achieve in the world of track athletics. He was to track what Sir Dermot Knowles was for the Bahamas in international sailing, what Andre Rogers was for Major League Baseball, what Michael Sweet Bells Thompson was for the NBA, and what Elijah Obed would later achieve in World Championship boxing. Tommy gave our country so many uplifting memories, memories of exhilarating, triumphant moments in our life as a people.
Tommy Robinson, the first Bahamian to win an international track and field medal for the Bahamas, died a few weeks ago. He was 74. Moving on now, basketball head coach Mario Bowleg is not taking too kindly to the sanctions handed down to his senior boys basketball team following a brawl with the Seg Gibson Rattlers during the first game of the government school season. According to Bowleg, he's had to deal with the similar situations for the past couple of years, and so it does not really come as a surprise to him, though.
If you're going to decide to suspend the teams or allow them to play the remainder games of GSSA but not be able to play in the postseason, then we have nothing to play for. It makes no sense we continue playing the GSSA, but you know, they made the ruling. I still think the ruling was made based on information that was not correct, in my opinion, because persons who were involved never got summons to give their part of the story. You know, there were many different stories I heard. Julian, I can tell you, I can't even count them on the stories that I heard from the next morning after the incident, which it was.
Moving on to some basketball news. Now, fans on the edge of their seats last night at the D.W. Davis Gym. The feature game went right down to the final buzzer. After taking a 12-point lead at the half, the Johnson Truckers had to hold off a late rally from the Super Value Cybot Queens to secure a 67-66 win. Audrey Martin led the Truckers in the win with 20. Glenda Gilka chipped in 15, and Chantel Roll had 13 points and 8 assists. For the Queens, Tracy Lewis, a double-double. 25 points and 13 rebounds. Kristen Seymour had 12 and Tarana Pyfram had 10. Now in the opening game, the career builder Cheetahs had an easy time with the Young Saints, winning 46-22. Tisha Silver led the way in the win with a double-double as well, 12 points, 13 boards. Felicia Kelly also with 12 in the win, while Sasha Dickinson had 13 in the loss. The Commonwealth American Football League back on the gridiron over the weekend at the Donald Davis playing field. Laurie J. Sands pros got past the Jets in a low-scoring game, 12-6. For the veteran Mike Foster, this season is about giving their younger players more of an opportunity.
We've started a young man, a sports reporter, that Ronaldo Dorset at the quarterback position. He started all of the games, and with a new quarterback and a bunch of young players, you can have some struggles. We are winning, but we're winning by narrower scores than we have in the past. But this is what you got to do in transition. I don't want to walk away and leave the team in a turmoil. You know, a lot of the older players have to adjust to a different type of quarterback. You know, he's probably what I was 30 years ago. You know, he's young, he's fast, he can run. But we're developing the experience. Ronaldo's coming along very well, and learning how to read things. And I believe that he will get there in a very short time, and the pros will return to the dominance we are accustomed.
On the tennis news now, after becoming the first Bahamian to win the boys' 18th title at the Goombay Splash Bowl last weekend, Kevin Major is still basking in the glory of his success. However, he knows this feat could not have been accomplished all alone.
I want it not only for myself, but for my family and my friends that believed in me, and also for Giorgio, because he coached me through almost all my life until I went out to Florida to live.
What are your plans now moving forward?
I hope to play more tournaments next year so that my ranking will be higher, so I'll be able to play some Grand Slams.
That's Jonathan Benson talking to Kevin Major. Still talking tennis, tournament director for that Goombay Splash Bowl, Bradley Bain, is pleased with the way the event has progressed. It's his hope now that we can host even more of these events.
I mean, right now we have 2 ITFs. We're going to look to see if we can do 4 ITFs. I mean, you know, 2 in the first half of the year, 2 in the second half of the year. Because again, kids don't have to travel. They play at home. They sleep in their home bed. They eat their own food, kind of. And so it makes it much, much easier. And so we can do that. Our kids, at the end of the day, will benefit from the points that they gain playing in these ITF tournaments, which will allow them to play the higher grade tournaments. And so the Bahamas wins, the tennis players win, the BLTA win. We all come out winners if we keep creating opportunities for our kids to play.
From the court to the field, the 2012 Government League slow pitch softball season is over, and President Derek Sands is happy with the way things have turned out.
We had our share of challenges coming into the season this year, but we are thankful for all of the support that we got from the members of our association, the Prisoner Defense Force, the police, Sandlands, the Ministry of Health and Civil Aviation, and all the others. I also, Julian, want to take this time to thank all of my support staff, our first Vice President, Robert Bob Smith, Mr. Christopher Charlton, our Treasurer, Teresa Young, Ms. Linda Stubbs, Mr. Teresa Cardi, Mr. Maxwell Janor, our commissioners, Sharon Storr and Andrew Burrows, and everyone who would have lent a hand in ensuring that the league was successful this year.
Sands adds that the league would not be able to function without its sponsors, and he credits them for sticking with the league through thick and thin.
We also want to take this time to pay special mention to the Ministry of Sports. They would have assisted us this year. Coca-Cola, Caribbean Bottling, they would have also lent a hand. And Batelco, they would have also loaned a hand to our league this year. And so we're just grateful also to our fans, because without them we are nothing. And we want to thank them for coming out year and year and time again, for coming out just to watch slow pitch. And it helps to grow the bonds between the government departments, where the police and the defense force can work hand in hand and in tandem, also with the prison, to just disseminate the information and ensure that we are able to make our country a better place to live, play, work, and visit.
And that'll do it for sports. I'm Chris Saunders. Your final look at weather is still to come.